Flag, 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 flag.
Reclaim America!
Patriot Front crashed America's 250th birthday, and they took the bus to do it.
We are Charlie Kirk!
What in the socialism is going on here? Come on, public transportation. Yesterday, this video of the Timu clan went viral, and I wanted to know more about these people, so I did what any reasonable person would do in 2026. I went straight to their website, and conveniently, they laid out their entire agenda on an FAQ page. Thank you, Patriot Front. I watched every single one of these videos, and before I personally gouged my ears out from what I was hearing, here's what I found. A lot of y'all were saying that they wear masks because they're cowards, and I completely agree, but let's hear what they have to say about it.
Anonymity is a vital right in the exercise of free speech under a government that has proven itself not to care about the First Amendment rights of those protesting the state's actions in service of an international agenda. Anonymity protects the lives and efforts of those speaking out against tyranny and promotes a selfless quality in messaging. We are not doing what we do to gain fame or profit for ourselves, but simply for the fact that it is right. Our activists can be anyone. They are the American everyman in revolt against intolerable conditions.
Did you hear that? He says Patriot Front members can be anyone. Ding, ding, ding. Because members of organizations like this are your neighbors, your teachers, your prosecutors, your judges, and the person who waves at you every morning. Perfectly pleasant people on the outside. It's just, well, they don't want you here, and ultimately they would jump at the opportunity to get you out of America. But let's keep going, because they also explain their views on race.
The placement of races into hierarchical order is not necessary for a nationalist or patriotic view of the world. It can even be counterproductive.
Oh, well, this is starting off well.
All Americans are descendants of the European race, whether they be of the founding stock of America or later assimilated elements from Europe itself. Foreign races have never successfully assimilated en masse into American culture and nationality. The truth of who is an American has not changed.
Yikes. For people like me who are not descendants of Europeans, what does that leave us? He says Europeans and their descendants are the only true Americans. Do you think he left out any context there? I'll give you a hint. The people who were already here before Europeans arrived, and slavery. But let's move on. He talks about repatriation.
Mass immigration must be halted and reversed with equally massive repatriation efforts.
Which is another way, in my opinion, of saying he wants minority groups to go back where they came from. And okay, I mean, I'm happy to go back to Atlanta, Georgia. Anyway, everything he says, in my opinion, is a very roundabout way of saying no coloreds allowed. If you see this video, please leave a comment and hit like, because I already know this thing is about to go triple platinum in the Patriot Front group chat.
Give me flag. Flag, 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 flag.
To the front!
That's about it.
We're good. Reclaim America! War, liberty, victory!
Imagine having such an inferiority complex, such a need to make yourself feel superior, such a need to make yourself feel important, that you don't spend the 250th birthday of this country, a day that you won't get back, with your family, celebrating the successes of the country. You spend it going to the nation's capital to protest a country in which you hold the House, the Senate, presidency, and the Supreme Court. This is the base of the people who currently run every branch of government. And somehow they are shouting to reclaim a country that they already control. Let that sink in for a second. The funniest thing about this, though, is that it's not new. Their ancestors already did this. They marched on the Capitol, but their ancestors were not afraid to show their faces. Their ancestors were bold and confident, not cowards with an inferiority complex. The only thing that these so-called men accomplished, other than showing people how out of step they are with their marching, I mean, my high school marching band did a better job than that. But I digress. This shows their cowardice, as well as their internalized failure. A failure that they base off of Black success. Because as we know, all of these cowards and their cowardly ancestors went underground after the Civil Rights Movement. Things got real quiet to the point that people thought racism was dead in this country. That was, of course, until Obama was elected the President of the United States. Not once, but twice. And not only was he the President of the United States, domestically, he was one of the best we'd had in quite the while. And most people living today will say that he was their favorite president. This kicked off the internal failure of the people who had a 400-year head start in this country. People who are being lapped by the Black community, even with all of their privilege. What you see under those masks are the cowardly imprints of people who have everything in this country, the most protected class in the country, and they are still angry. It's still not enough for them. They have the most white supremacist administration that they have had since before the Civil Rights Movement. And they are still angry. Why? Because Black Americans are unbothered, unafraid, and unbound by their chains. We aren't doing what they want us to do. We aren't distressed. We aren't marching. We aren't in despair. If anything, this whole situation has brought the Black community together, and we are piggybacking off of each other, circulating our funds within our own communities. We are focusing in on our success, our mental health, our children. And for people whose whole existence depends on the suffering and despair of Black people, they are not getting what they want. And they are like toddlers, tantruming, trying to get the attention of the authority figure who is unbothered by their tantrum. It's pathetic, but it represents the cowardice that couples racism today. The fake accounts, the troll accounts. People will make an entirely fake account just so that they can be racist, hiding their identities, hiding their faces. Cowards, shells of what their ancestors were. And this picture right here represents all of that in a sea of cowardice racists. We sit unbothered, unmasked, and unafraid. The parallels to the past are certainly there. But honestly, I can't think of a better depiction of what America is and the state of the country right now. A country full of a bunch of racist cowards, loud in their anonymity.
This picture just stopped me in my tracks. It's America's Independence Day today, 250 years since its founding. One woman sits alone on a Washington, D.C. metro train, a picture taken by Reuters. She's surrounded by masked white nationalists heading to a march. She's not shouting, she's not reacting, she's just simply there. What a haunting image, and one that should make every decent human being feel uncomfortable. This picture needs to be remembered, not because of fear, but because this should never be allowed to become normal.
Hi everyone, if you're on social media over the weekend, you have seen some of the trending photos and videos of the marching men with the same outfit, and here we're going to talk about and break down the facts as we are seeing the clips and also how people have reacted to those videos. Let's take a look.
If you live in and around Washington, D.C., be aware white nationalists are marching on the nation's capital this morning on America's 250th anniversary. This video was shot by Mitchell Miller, a reporter in Washington, D.C. at Union Station, and it shows hundreds of masked men carrying Confederate flags, chanting anti-immigrant slogans, calling for the country to be, quote, reclaimed. They started at Union Station, and they appear to be marching across the city today in covered masks. These individuals chanting white nationalist slogans, carrying Confederate flags. Law enforcement is actively monitoring their demonstration, and they're actively trying to conceal their identities by wearing the white masks or the white kind of face guards on their face. And as you can see, there are Confederate flags like that one right there. So if you live in the area, be aware. This is what they're bringing for America's 250th. I'll have more updates for you soon. Spread the word and follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
I know some of you are probably wondering who these masked white supremacists that surrounded this black woman are. Besides them being your doctors, lawyers, and police officers, they're all part of Patriot Front, a white supremacist terrorist group. Let's get into it. So just in case you missed it, yesterday on July 4th, during America's 250th celebration in Washington, D.C., hundreds of masked Patriot Front members marched in military-style formation wearing their Navy shirts and khakis, carrying Confederate and American flags, while chanting "Reclaim America." So Patriot Front was born from the ashes of the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, which is the same rally where Heather Heyer was murdered when a white supremacist rammed his car into the crowd. Now, founder Thomas Rousseau was a teenager at the time, and he broke away from the neo-Nazi group Vanguard America and started Patriot Front. Now, today, at just 27 years old, he leads what the Southern Poverty Law Center classifies as a white nationalist hate group. Now, internal documents that were leaked reveal that the group has more than 540 members across 49 states, and they've added so many new members over the last few years. Now, the group's manifesto calls for a hard reset of America and a return to the traditions and virtues of our forefathers. Now, Patriot Front has a documented record of violence. In July 2022, members attacked Charles Morrell, a black classical saxophonist in Boston. Now, they shoved him into the street, they knocked him down, they kicked him while he was on the ground after one member called him a racial slur. In January 2025, a federal judge ordered that Thomas and Patriot Front pay Charles Morrell nearly $3 million in damages. In June 2022, 31 Patriot Front members, including Thomas, were arrested in Idaho on conspiracy to riot charges near an LGBTQ+ pride event. The group has also been accused of intimidating immigrant business owners, with 2 North Dakota nonprofits settling lawsuits against them in early 2025. Now, the SPLC has documented that Patriot Front is responsible for the vast majority of white supremacist propaganda efforts in the United States, and they post more than 5,000 pieces of racist propaganda, and they did that in 2024 alone. Now, the group's ideology promotes the creation of a white ethno-state in America, rejects multiculturalism and diversity, and frequently pushes the Great Replacement conspiracy theory. They view immigration and diversity as existential threats. Patriot Front is growing, and their march on the Capitol should serve as a reminder that white supremacists are organized. Are you? This is Monique with the Black Belt Daily, signing out.
By now, many of you have no doubt seen this shocking, stark image taken on the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. on the Metro from Reuters. It's the picture of a young girl sitting alone and brave, a young black girl surrounded by all of these white masked men, too afraid to show their faces in public. These are members of a group that calls itself the Patriot Front, though they are obviously not patriots in terms of their bigotry, and it's hard to call a group that won't show their front a front of any sense. So let's just call them the PFEs. I'll tell you about the PFEs. After the disastrous, murderous Charlottesville Unite the Right rally in 2017, the PFEs split from a different hate group, the white nationalist group called Vanguard America. Vanguard America apparently was too Nazi adjacent, and the PFEs wanted to be more cloaked in American patriotism. Since almost all of them hide their faces, here is what we know about them. According to extremism experts, they are headed up by this one guy, Thomas Rousseau. He's 27. He does show his face in public. He has been accused through the years of being part of a group that vandalized a statue of tennis legend Arthur Ashe, part of a group that was arrested for plotting to disrupt a gay pride parade in Idaho. It's basic bigoted punk loser behavior. And honestly, that's the whole vibe when you dive deeper and learn more about who these guys are. Sad young white guys with little going on in their lives who seem to blame everyone else, the Jews, the blacks, the gays, whatever, for their sad situations. We learn their identities when on occasion they run afoul of the law. Jacob Zack, for example, was 19, living at home in Illinois when he was arrested for gun charges. Joffrey Cross was 33, arrested in Houston on gun charges. A former Army private, he did 5 years in prison for distributing controlled substances. The New Yorker magazine a couple years ago did a deep dive on the PFEs, and it kind of was summed up by this one passage, quote, "A Nazi Watch website reported that a Seattle area Patriot Front member was, quote, known for his extreme social awkwardness and, quote, incel-like behaviors, and was, quote, so subservient to his network director that he would and has peed in a bottle on the highway rather than be a mere few minutes late to a meeting. So don't be fooled by a parade of men acting tough, walking down the street. You take off those masks and they are exactly who you think they are.
So that is the footage and the facts of what happened the past holiday weekend. And as you have seen the clips, obviously if you see men like wearing masks and marching in the streets, it makes you stand and look and take a look. And so I want us to hear from your thoughts and how you have reacted when you saw that onto your feed. I hope I'm going to see you in the next episode, and thank you for tuning in with me today. Have a good one.